Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rudra and today we are continuing Python programming series. In previous lecture number 4, we lecture number 3 we talked about operators. In today's lecture we will start strings. We will study about strings. String, what is string indexing, what is negative indexing, what is slicing, how to format a string, all these things. So without wasting any time, let's start the lecture. First of all, let's understand what is a string. A string is a sequence of character, letters, digits, symbol, spaces enclosed within quotes. In Python, a string is one of the most commonly used data types used to represent text. So string is basically a data type which we use to represent text, just like we use int to represent integers and float to represent decimal numbers, like that. That's how we use string to represent text. Way to create a string: single quotes, hello, double quotes, and like this, and triple quotes. Used for multi-line string. If you want to write string in multiple lines, then we can use triple quote. Here are few examples. You can see key points. Single and double quotes work exactly the same. Use double quotes if the text itself contains a single quote, like it's a book, and vice versa. So, like in this example, here there is a quote between it and yes, so that's why we are using double quote, because if you use single quote here and here at the end, then Python will get confused or it will show syntax error, because the first single quote will be completed by this single and there will be no completion for the last single. That's why if the text already contains a single quote, then at the end you can use double quotes so that there is no error. Triple-quoted string can span multiple lines directly without needing a special line break character. Strings in Python are immutable. Once created, the character inside a string cannot be changed individually. A new string must be created instead. The length of a string number of characters can be found using the built-in len function. This function it basically tells us the length of the string, like in Python how many characters are there. Python, so there are 6 characters. That's what this function will tell us. Here, as you can see from the example, we have created a variable and stored Python string in it and print len of word. So in this function the word contains Python, so it will count the number of characters in it, Python, and print 6. Now, what is string indexing? Indexing means accessing a single character of a string using its position number. In Python, indexing starts from 0, not 1. If there is a string and you want to access its one of the characters, single characters on from a position, then we use indexing. And in Python, the indexing start from 0, not 1. So if you are taking Python, the word Python as a string, then this is its syntax. P is at 0 place, Y is at 1, T is at 2, H is at 3, O is at 4, and N is at 5. So there are total 6 characters in it, and the indexing start from 0 till the last character. As you can see here, the word, we have created a string variable for string word and we are printing. That's how you, if you want one character, that's the syntax for it. The variable in brackets, we use the indexing index. Like if you put 0 here, then it will print P, because P is at the 0th position. Then 1, then it will print Y, because 0 1. Then if you will write 5, then it will print N, because 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. N is at the 5th position. Key points: the first character is always at index 0, the second at index 1, and so on. Trying to access an integer that doesn't exist. Example, word 10. bracket 10 for 6 letter word causes an index error. Like the, in this Python has total 6 characters. So total 6 indexing are valid, and if you use any index out of the scope, then it will show index error. Square brackets are used to access character by its index. Here square brackets are used here. Now what is negative indexing? First, negative indexing allows accessing characters from the end of a string, where -1 refers to the last character, -2 refers to the second last, and so on. If you can access the string from one, if you want to access from the starting, then you can use 0, 1, 2, 3 indexing. If you want to access from the end of the string, then you can use negative indexing as well, like -1. This negative indexing is helpful in questions in which we don't know the length of this. Like length of the string is not permanent or defined, and you want to access the last digit. So you can always access the first one is always like first character will always be 0. So in any questions, if you want to access the first one, then you can just access it by index using index 0. But if any questions you have to take an input from the user and the length of the string is not defined, so what can you do? And you want to access the last, from the end, the character that is at the end, then you can use -1, because no matter how much what is the length of the string, -1 will always reference the character which is at the last position. -1 refers to n, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. You can see the example here. -1 will print p, -2 will print y, and -6 will print n. It's in negative indexing, notice that it doesn't start from 0. Okay, it starts from -1. That's why we are getting -6 here, 6 here. In normal indexing, we are starting from the left side with 0. That's why we are getting on the right hand side at the end 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a thing to take note. Negative indexing is very useful when you want the last character of a string without needing to know its exact length. As I have said before, there is no index 0 equivalent going backward. The last character is -1, not 0. Now what is slicing? Slicing is used to extract a portion, substring of a string by specifying a start index or an end index and an optional step using the syntax string start colon stop colon step. So we will talk about this syntax in a minute. Rule of slicing. The slice includes the character at the start index. So where you want to, slicing is basically if there is a string and you want a part of it, you want to return a part of it, or you want to extract a part of that string, then you use slicing. The slice includes the character at the start index. So how will you do the slicing? First, you should know from where you are starting to slice it. So starting index should be known, but exclude the character at the stop index. When you write, like in this syntax, when you write a starting index and stopping index, you should remember that the starting index is included. Like if you are slicing from 0 to 4, then you should know that it will include the characters from position 0, 1, 2, 3, and you have written fourth index here, but fourth index will not be included. If start is left empty and slicing begins from index 0, if you don't write anything here, then it will automatically start from 0. If stop is left empty, slicing goes all the way to the end of string. If at the place of stop you don't write anywhere to stop, then it will go to the end of the string. The step defines how many characters to skip. Default step is 1. So step defines how many characters to skip. Like here are the examples you can see. Print word, the string is programming. So you are slicing from 0 to 6. So at 0 it is P. So 6 means you have to include till the fifth position. 6 one is excluded. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So till here all the things will be included. So as you can see in the output, program is being printed out. In the second example, as you can see, here we have 3 only, and last part, stop part is empty. Like step part is optional. Step part, if you want to include, if it is needed in the question, then you can include it. Start and stop must be there, and they can be left empty according to the question. Like here 3 colon and there is empty. So at stop it will automatically think that it's 0. So it will start from 3. So in this question, where does 3 start? 0, 1, 2, 3 at G. So it will start from G and till the end, like that. After that, in this example, the starting part is empty. So it will start from the beginning, from 0 till 4. Print here. So starting and stop are empty, and the step one it is given. So you have to print every second character. You have to skip 2 characters. So this one will be printed. Okay. And print, you have to skip -1. So it will print -1 will basically print the whole word in an reverse order. Key points: slicing never causes an index error even if the index range goes beyond this. Python simply returns as much as is available. So if you put wrong index in slicing, it will not show index error. String is a very common and simple trick to use reverse a string. If you are asked to reverse anything in a question, reverse a string, print a string in reverse order, then you can use this syntax. Negative indices can also be used inside slicing, like this. Now, what are string methods? String methods are built-in functions that operate specifically on string values, allowing you to transform, search, or check the content of a string. They are called using string.method name. So that's how they are used in a program. Here are examples of the string methods, like upper, convert to uppercase. If you are if there is a string and you want to convert it to uppercase, then you can use this method. Then there is lower, to convert to lowercase. Strip, if you want to strip the leading or trailing spaces. If in a string there are spaces in between and you want to strip them, then you use strip. Replace old new, replace part of a string. Split, split strings into a list, like this. Join list elements into a string. Find, count, start with, ends with. Title, if, capitalize the first letter of every word. Is digit, true if string has only digits. Is alpha, true if string has only letters, like this. So here are the examples. String method do not change the original string. Since string are immutable, they always return a new string. Like in string methods, they do not changes, like we have seen before in int and other floats. If in other variables, if you operate on them using operators, then the original value changes. It's not case with the string methods, they do not change, just new string is created. Python has many built-in string methods beyond this list. You can view them all using help str in Python. You can write this in terminal and it will give you a list of all the string method built in string. Escape characters. An escape character is a special character sequence starting with a backslash, used to insert characters into a string that would otherwise be difficult or impossible to type directly, like a new line or a quote symbol. These are few escape sequences that you should remember that are used in coding. Like mainly you should remember this one. If you want, you can all remember this one, these all as well. New line slash n is used as new line. This is tab space. Double slash is a single backslash. If you want to print a single backslash, then you can use double backslash, because single backslash is used in many cases. Like here single backslash is used. Single backslash has different meaning in Python. So if you want to actually print a single backslash in a code, then you can use double backslash. Single quote, double quote, carry is return, and backspace. Without escape characters, Python would get confused. Example, a quote symbol inside a string using the same quote type would end the string early. Backslash n and backslash t are the most frequently used escape characters in everyday program. String formatting. String formatting means inserting variables values into a string in a clean readable way instead of manually joining text and variables using the plus operator. You can first of all, let's see how to string formatting is basically to join text and variable. As we have studied earlier, how to include a variable in a print statement. You write your string in double quotes, then you use comma, then you write your variables. But there are other ways to do that. One of the ways is used to plus operator, which is string concatenation. So let's see that. Not recommended for mixed type. It is not usually recommended, but we should know how it is used. So as you can see here, name variable aman, age is a variable which is an int is 21. Now you are printing my name is. So first this part is printed, my name is, then you can use plus and name, which is a variable, so aman will be printed. Then again string and im, then again str age. You are converting this 21 age into a string and writing it. And here why are you converting into a string? Because string is the only thing that can be concatenated. So it's string, that's why it's string concatenation. So if you want to use plus signs, then you have to first convert the age into a string. Then you can print year olds like usual. Notice str age is required here. You cannot directly add a string and an integer using plus. As you can see, these parts are all string. So that's why this should also be string. Age should also be string. That's why we are first converting age, which is an integer, into a string. Now, what is the second method? Using the dot format method. There is another function dot format which is used for including string and variables while printing. So as you can see, usual example name and age. And in the print statement, you basically wherever there is in this dot format method, wherever you want to print the variable, you use curly braces there, and at the end after that you use dot format and the name of variables. Like here you are using curly braces, here you use curly braces. The first variable you are using is name, so name will be printed in place of the first curly brace, and age is the second variable at the second position, so it will be printed here. If you would interchange this, like if you write first age then name, then here it will be printed age and here it will be printed. So that's how it is done. Method 3, using percentage operator older style. So In C, you can see, if you know C language, if you have studied a little bit about C, then this method is used in C. Here usually what you do, you use percentage method. Percentage S here represents string and percentage D here represent the integer value. So if you would have studied C, then you would understand it. So but no need to focus on this that much. It just look over it for once. Dot format does not require manual type conversion. It automatically converts values to string. The percentage style formatting is older and less commonly used in modern Python code, but it is still seen in some existing programs, like I have said. In C, the modern most preferred method today is fstring, covered next. So what is the modern method? Fstring is the modern method that is most famous. Fstring formatted string literals. An f-string is a string prefixed with a letter f that allow variables and even expression to be inserted directly inside curly braces within the string. This is most modern, readable, and recommended way to format strings in Python. So what you do, you create variables name, among, age, 21, and print, and outside of the double quotes use an f, which means basically format. And what it does is that when you are using curly braces, so whatever is inside the curly braces will be treated as a variable. So now it is more readable. My name is here, name, you can see that curly brace, so here it is basically a variable and name is the variable, Aman is stored here, and I am in curly braces age, so age should be printed here. So here it is printed. So as you can see how readable and how easy it is. Here it is how used, it is outside of the double quotes, f is used. F strings can also evaluate expressions directly. A is equals to 5, B is equals to 3, print F, double quote, the sum of A and curly braces B is curly braces A plus B. So as you can see, you can also use operators and calculations to calculation in F string, plus, minus, multiplication. Formatting numbers inside F string. Now formatting numbers inside F string, here round off to two decimal places. How you do it? Price is 1234.5678. So you want to format it, and you want to format it to two decimal places. So what you basically do, this is the syntax for formatting it to two decimal places. You use dot to f like this. So it will only the in the result it will only print till two decimal places. F strings are created simply by placing an F right before the opening quote, F dot double quotes, and then the string whatever you want to write inside. They are faster and more readable than dot format, bracket, or percentage formatting, and are the standard used in modern Python code. So you have to remember this F string method. This F string method is the most important for you. It will You should have an hands-on practice on using this type of string method. You can format numbers directly inside the braces like this. So two decimal places. Raw strings. A raw string tells Python to treat backslashes as literal characters instead of treating them as start of an escape sequence. It is created by placing an R right before the opening quote. So here you can see here, backslash n was treated as a new line and backslash t as a tab, not what was intended when writing the file path. So what you basically do to solve it, you basically write an R before it and it will treat backslash as it is. Raw strings are extremely useful for file path, especially on Windows, and for writing regular expressions where backslashes are common and should not be treated as escape sequence. Simply add R before the sequence, no other syntax changes are needed. A raw string can still contain normal text and characters, only the special treatment of backslashes is disabled. So if you want to treat the backslashes as normal, not like it is how it, how what is it represented in Python and other languages, then you can use an R sequence here at the starting, so that all the backslashes are taken as literal characters. Like they are here, the black meaning of backslash is a backslash. So okay everyone, lecture 4 is complete. Today's lecture was short on strings. Now lecture is completed. Let's move on to the practice questions of lecture number 4. Theory part is completed. Now only practice questions are left. So module 4 strings practice question. There are total 5 questions and the answers are in the same PDF. So you don't have to worry about anything, questions or notes. I'll put the link of them all in the description. You can find it there. So let's continue. You can create a new file, as I have created a lecture number 4 file in VS Code. You can all open VS Code and first solve the questions. Then if you are facing any problems, then you can watch the lecture again and watch how I solve the question. So let's start. Question number 1, string indexing and slicing. So question number 1 is on topic string indexing and slicing. Write a Python program that takes your name as input, prints first character, last character, first 4 characters, last 3 characters, the name in reverse order. So all these things are important. They may be asked in different question in different way. They are very theoretical and you should know how to do these basic things. So let's begin. We'll go to VS Code, write first question number 1. What's it saying? Take your name as input. So first you have to create a variable and take an input from the user. Name is the variable, input, enter your name. And close this in double quotes. So we have created a variable to enter our name. Now what's the next step? First is print first character. So as we have studied in strings, the first character is associated with index 0. So we have to print that. So print double quotes first character, comma. Now we write the name of the variable, and if we just write the name of the variable, then the complete variable will be printed. Whatever variable is storing will be printed. But we want the first character. So what did we use here after name? We used square brackets and write the index in that. So we are printing the first, so 0. What is the next part? Last character. So we have studied in the string lecture that the last character is used with in these sequences from 0 1 2 3. It is hard to define because there is no length defined here. Name can be of any length. It can be 15 characters, it can be 20 characters. So we can't just write the index as 0 in this sequence 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to use in those cases we have to use negative indexing. So last character, name, square brackets, -1. So this one is done. What is the next part? First four characters. Now we have to use slicing. If we wanted to print one character only or two characters, then we could use indexing. Now we have to use first four characters and other, so we will use slicing. First four characters, right? So print first four characters, comma, name, square brackets. Now we don't have to necessarily, we can do 0 colon. We have to print first four, right? So we can do 4. It will also be correct, and if you want to, because here it is 0, then you can also delete it. It is not compulsory to write 0 there. Python will automatically analyze that what does it mean. So next part is also done. Last three characters. So to print from last three characters, we will again have to use negative indexing. Name, square brackets. Now in negative indexing, as you have studied, the last character is represented as -1, then -2, -3, and we have to print the last three characters. So what will be the left handmost index for the character? It will be -3. So it will start from -3 position. Then because -3 will be printed, -2 will be printed, and -1, which is the last, will be, so that's why -3. And you can leave it. You can also write -1 here if you want, but if you leave it empty, Python automatically estimate that it's, what does it mean? It means -1. Both are correct. You can write in both ways. Then the name in reverse order. Now if you want to print in reverse order, so you should remember a syntax that I told you to remember, that it's sometimes asked in the questions, in coding questions, to reverse a string and print it. So that's how you do. Reverse, comma, name, square brackets. Now this syntax, you should just not remember it, you should understand it. Like there are three parts in slicing. First is start, second is stop, and third is step. So here the both of the start and stop are empty. So it means here it is empty, which means you have to start from the last or the beginning or anything, and to stop there is nothing, which means you have to not stop until the whole string is covered. And here -1 step means you have to start from the last and -1 the index. So -1, first you will print -1, then you will do -1 again, and you will print -2, then -3, then -4, right? And like that you will print from reverse order. That's what the syntax says. So question is completed. We can run the program and check the answer. So enter your name. I'll write my name, and as you can see, first character is R, last character is A, first four characters RUDR, last three characters DRA, and reverse ARDUR. As you can see, the program is correct, the answers are correct. Question number 1 is complete for lecture number 4 practice question. Now I'll comment out question number 1. Now let's see question number 2, string methods. Now question number 2 is on string methods. So let's write here question number 2. Question 2. Let's see what the question number 2 says. Write a Python program that takes a sequence as input, prints the sequence in uppercase, sequence in lowercase, total number of characters in the sequence, number of times a letter A appears. Replace all spaces with underscores. So these are the 5 tasks that we have to perform using string methods. So let's go. First we have to take input a sequence, make a variable, we can just use short form, and put enter a sentence. So we have taken input a sentence. Now what is the first task? The sentence in uppercase. So we have to use string method dot upper to print the sentence in uppercase. So uppercase. Here sequence dot upper. So here it, the first question is complete. That first part is complete. Sentence in lowercase. Print lower case sequence dot lower bracket. What is the third part? Total number of characters. We have to basically find the length of the string. for finding the length of the string, what was the function len? Now you should know that how this is done. In length, we actually write the variable inside the brackets, but in upper and lower case, we use dot, lower dot upper. So focus on that. There is a difference between them. Now what's the next part? Number of times a letter A appears. So we have to count number of times letter A appears. So you do that. In brackets you write A. Next, one more part is done. What's the last part? Replace all spaces with underscore. We have to replace all the spaces with underscore. So print replace with underscore, comma, sequence dot replace. Now in bracket, what do you have to do? First, what do we have to replace? So we have to replace any space. Then with what do you have to replace? We have to replace the space with an underscore. So first, in the first position you will write what you want to replace, and at the second position you will write with what you want to replace. So you want to replace space with underscore. So question number 2, coding part is done. Let's see, all the parts are done. Let's run the program. Enter a sentence. Let's write weather was nice today. Ah, that's right. So in uppercase, all of them are converted, all the strings are converted uppercase, lowercase, all of them are converted uppercase. Length, we will count the length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Base is also counted as 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Why is it counting length? Because here is a full stop as well, so length is 21. Number of A's, 1, 2, replace with underscore. So here it was space, here it was space, 3 spaces were there and 3 underscore. So we have seen with the example the code is performing correctly. Question number 2 is done. Let's comment out the code and move on to the next question. So let's continue to question number 3. Question number 3, write a program that print the following output exactly. Name Rahul, course Python, message learning Python is. Then print the Windows path below exactly as shown. Okay. Use escape character and raw string. So you have to use escape character and raw string to do that. So let's move on. Question number 3. First we have to print the name exactly. Here as you can see there is page there, there is tab there. So to give that we'll use this escape sequence. Hmm, Second one was course was Python. Third is, what's the third one? Message learning Python is fun. Will be printed exactly using escape sequence T, which is a tab escape sequence. Then after that we can use print and extra space. Here it will give us an extra line. Now what's the next part of the question? We have to print this. Copy that. So you have to print that. You have to print the slashes, so you can use a raw string method. Raw string, what do you do? Create, let me create a variable path, because we are showing path, and we'll just, we've copied that, we'll paste that. So directly paste that in here, and what will we do? Path. See how it goes. As you can see, it is printed, all of them are printed correctly. Here there is space. If you can see clearly there is much, all of them are is one line, and there is, here the path is also printed as it is. So question number 3 is completed. Let's move on to question number 4. What does it? String formatting and app strings. Write a program that Write a Python program that takes a student name and marks as input, displays result using format method, app string. Example, these are the examples that we have to use. So we have to use both method, format method, dot format method, and app string. Let's begin. You can use this. We have taken the input as name. Now for marks, enter marks, enter marks. We have taken name and marks as input. Now what we have to do, we have to basically format. So first we'll write the method with dot format method student. Now what was the sentence? Student Rahul scored itna. So here we will use the name variable and here the mark variable. So that's where we will use curly braces. So curly braces here, student scored, curly braces again, marks dot. Now what we have to do, in format method we use dot, we use write format, we write the first variable comma, what was the second variable, marks. We do it in this way. This is the syntax for first one, dot format method. Now for the second method, what we do, we use write f, then we write double quotes, and we can basically copy this, write it inside here, and we can write the name. In the f string method, we write the variables in the brackets, the curly braces themselves. In format method, we write them separately in format. So that's how it is done. Now let's print them. Rudra code 95. So as you can see, in both cases, the answer is correctly printed. It means the code is working properly. Question number 4 is completed. Let's comment that out and move on to next question. Question number 5, mini string analyzer. Write a Python program that takes a word as input, prints length of word, first character, last character, reverse of the word, word in uppercase, word in lowercase, whether the word starts with P, whether the word ends with N. So mix of all the topics. They have a question on mix of all the topics. So question number 5. We will create a variable first, word, We can just write enter name for any. Now we have to print the this is an easy length of the word, so we'll use len. First character we can use indexing, last character we can use negative indexing. All of these topics are easy, we can do them fast. Print length word, then print word bracket 0, print word square brackets, we have to print the last one, then -1 we did. Now we have to reverse it, so we can do word bracket, how we did a -1, we reverse number by this, then you can print what were the other things, uppercase, lowercase, so word dot upper and print word dot lower. Till this here is done. Now what is the next part? Whether the word starts with P. So we have to find whether the word starts with P. So there is a function for that which is starts with, and there is also a function string method also that ends with. We'll see that here. I'll show you. Starts with, ends with. So we can use that. Print starts with P. So you can use word dot starts with bracket double quotes capital P. Then if you are taking capital P, then we should have. Now what is the next part? Ends with the question. Whether the word ends with N. Print ends with this word dot ends with, since normally the first letter is character is capital and last is small, that's why we are taking capital P here and capital N. You can change it to whatever you want according to question, according to the problem. Now the coding for question number 5 is complete. Let's run the program. Now we have to enter in a word. So first let's enter any word like world. So how many, what is the length of the word? 5. First word is W, second is, last is D, and in reverse order like this: uppercase, lowercase, start with P false, ends with false. Now let's write Python. So you can see all the things: starts with P true, ends with N. So the program is working perfectly. according to the question, according to what was asked. So let's comment out the question. All the question till question number 5 are done. You can see. If you are still have any doubt or still were not able to understand anything, you can use AI, ChatGPT, or Claude or Gemini to solve your issue, or you can watch the lecture again. So that was lecture number 4, strings. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching, and let's meet again in the next lecture.